Hey guys, welcome to your third day of our challenge. I'm really sorry it's so dark in here. I don't have a lamp. Anyways, thank you for being with us so far and for all of your engagement in the first 2 days. I'm going to recap on a couple of things really fast and just jump right into today's topic, which is our habits. So first day, we talked about our why. We really want to always have that in the forefront of your mind. And yesterday I asked everybody to really write down their why and plaster it all over the place so that you see it regularly and you continue to remind yourself why you're doing this and what your long-term goal is. Then we talked about our choices and how our choices compound over time to create our habits. We also talked about how our choices, excuse me, our choices are learned over time, and therefore they can be unlearned. So that's where I want to start today. Our choices, as I mentioned, incrementally over time become our habits. Our habits is what we're going to focus on today, and we're going to do some more self-assessment and write out the habits that we feel like are sabotaging our end results. Okay, so we're going to focus on the habits, the things that we do every day that have become second nature to us. We're going to start unlearning those. So what do I mean by this? Okay, when I first started out on my fitness journey, I was that person that every day I was like, yeah, I'm going to work out tonight. I'm going to work out tonight. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how long. I didn't know if I was going to make it to the gym. I was a really big class person. So I loved going to the classes. I never checked to see what the schedule was. I'd just show up if I ever got there. So every day, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym today. Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym. Sure enough, around 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'd get a text from a friend. Hey, you want to go to happy hour? Yeah, I want to go to happy hour. Forget the workout. That was me, okay? And I know some of you in here, and some of you were that friend that was texting me. So I know I'm not the only one, okay? Habits. What might I look at in that example, and what might be opportunities for change, okay? So these are the kinds of things that I want you to look at. Really think about, what do I do from morning until night where I could benefit to add in a better habit? Okay, so how do we do this? First of all, we're going to start right now. Okay, we are going to start today in being mindful and intentional about changing our habits for the better. Okay, and the other thing is that many of you in your why shared, and I'm very grateful for everybody being so honest, but all of you shared about something that had to do with your family, your family's health, family struggles with health, some things that you've identified in yourself that maybe you've gotten from your family. And all of those things are really easy for people to kind of use as a crutch. We've been around them for so long that it's really easy for us to use them as an excuse to why we can't achieve something. Oh, my family's just always been that way, so I can't ever change it. That's just the way it is. Well, that's not going to fly here anymore. Okay? Starting today, we are not falling victim to our circumstances and our bad habits anymore. Okay? Why? Because we have a motivation that's big enough to overcome them. And because we know now how to be mindful and how to pay attention. Okay? So no more, oh, that's just how it's always been. We are creating change starting now. Okay, so that's the number one thing, is we're going to start now. The second thing is that we are going to pay attention to the small stuff. Okay, we are going to pay attention to the little things that we do and why we do them, which goes and ties in to our mindfulness that we talked about yesterday. All right, the third thing that I want to talk about is the reality, or the connection, I should say, between our bad habits and instant gratification. We live in a society where everything is right now. I want it now. I'm going to get it now. I'm hungry. I'm going to go through the drive-thru because I'm hungry now. I want a coffee. I'm going to go to Starbucks because there's 50 on my way home. And so I'm going to get it, or on my way to work, or whatever. Everything is about now, now, now. The problem with expecting gratification now is that we completely lose sight of how that affects our long term. Okay, so that's the first thing that happens. We lose sight of how it affects us long term. And the second thing is that we think it's not a big deal, so it's okay. This is where paying attention to the small stuff comes in. We have to be aware of how our habits that we feel like are really small affect our long term. And our focus has to shift to delayed gratification. One of the biggest reasons why people quit a program halfway or they quit before they see any results is because they stop believing that what they're doing is working. I mentioned to you what I was like before I started my fitness journey. After I started, which I would say that I really, really, really got committed and intentional to create a lifestyle change last November, so about a year ago. And when that happened, a lot of things had to change. I got up every single morning. Well, I'm not going to lie. I was not getting up every single morning. Okay, that was my intention. But I started small, and I accepted as a successful week if I got up 3 times a week before I went to work. So I was before I went to class. So I was getting up at around 5 a.m., 5:30, got a workout in, got my shake in, had my meals planned, and I was done for the day. But that required a lot of intentional changing of my habits, okay? Which was completely drastic from what I was doing before, which was not planning, not thinking ahead. Those are the types of things that I want you to think about, okay? If I was focused on, when I made that shift, if I was only focused on instant gratification, I would have quit just like every other time that I quit. But this time I knew that my focus was long-term and my focus was a lifestyle. And so I knew that if I stayed focused and I completed a program and I stayed with something for 30, 60 days, I was going to see results. And that's the shift that we have to have. Even if you have a short-term goal of, I want to lose X for such and such event that's a month away. There's nothing wrong with that. But in addition to that goal that you want a month from now, I want you to think 6 months, a year from now. That's where our mind needs to go in order for this to really compound and really create positive habits, okay? Really fast recap. Number 1, we're starting today, and we are not falling victim to our learned bad habits, okay? We're not blaming anybody else. Number 2, we're paying attention to the small things that we do every single day. Number 3, we are removing instant gratification from our mind, and we are refocusing on delayed, long-term, big why results. Okay, I hope I didn't blab for too long. This is really important, and this is really where a lot of the meat happens. So thank you for watching this long. And I am really excited to see everybody. Please comment below with some of your biggest takeaways or some of the things that you plan to implement as we really dive into this challenge. See you guys tomorrow.